G'day from fabulous Las Vegas, and I can tell you that the setup for the second edition of this race is in full swing. There are a number of changes, some things remain the same, lots of people are happy, some are very sad. If you stay to the end, you'll find out a whole lot about this controversial F1 race. One new thing you'll notice if you're coming is that this is not the Paddock anymore, this is actually the Plaza. Why have they renamed it? Well, back in 2017, Stephen Paddock killed a whole host of people from one of the hotel rooms, and as such the locals won't refer to this as the Paddock, but of course the international media does. So I spoke last year to the manager here at Jay's on Flamingo. This year Christy is the manager, and I asked her whether things are any better this year.
Way worse.
Oh no.
It's way worse. They built this pedestrian bridge that was supposed to help us, but completely blocked off the whole Koval side of our road.
So in terms of drop in business?
We're down at least 70%.
This is one of the many flyovers that cross Las Vegas Boulevard. The track runs underneath, and last year people would stand here, they'd look through some mess, they'd tear off the plastic that was put over the glass and they'd catch a glimpse. Not this year. This is metal. There's no seeing through that, and there's certainly no tearing it down. You remember that last year the manhole covers, well they're actually water drain covers, caused an issue with Carlos Sainz's car on the Thursday night. Well, this is what they look like this year. Well and truly secured. The last year I came here to Denny's to have a look. This is a prime spot. It's got a balcony that overlooks the track. Now, I've just had a chat with the management, and I'm sad to say that if you're looking to get up on that balcony, you won't. It will be closed. You can still eat inside, but even from the window there, if you stood up, you'd get a view of what's going on, but obviously through glass. I've spoken to a whole host of people over the last couple of days, some of them happy with F1 being in town, others not so.
It's been a lot better than the first year, a lot more smooth. Construction was only 2 or 3 months this year as opposed to the initial 6 months, so hopefully each year they'll get a little bit better. We went to Austria this year. It was actually cheaper to fly my whole family to Austria than it was to get grandstand tickets here.
It's a little complicated with all the traffic and all the businesses trying to work around this track. It's a little complicated for them, you know, just not working out with all this construction, but it should be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'll get overtime work. It's a tourist city, so it's good.
Bad for us locals because it disrupts traffic, and then it kind of affects our sales negatively because policy of the city, whenever it's big events like this, they don't let us sell any glass bottles at all.
From what days?
From Thursday to Saturday. And they start the curfew from 4 p.m. until 2 a.m.
Now at this stage, not all of these bridges have been covered. This one crosses Sands and is actually a staff car park for one of the hotels. But by race day, I imagine this one will be done as well. The other thing, there's a law that's been enacted that legally stops people congregating on those bridges. So even if you could see out, you couldn't stay there for very long. Of course, one thing no other F1 race has is this, the Sphere, and it is so iconic. In particular, this great graphic. I love it. Of course, the Sphere is a full-on theatre, seats about 20,000. They have concerts and shows on the big screen. And will there be any activity here during race weekend? Yes, but only in the mornings. I think the last one starts at 11 a.m. I remember shooting over here on Thursday of last year, and this is where all the crowd behind me up in these stands were kicked out. I imagine that will not be happening this year. And right behind me is the stage where the acts will be playing here for the fans. Ludacris is here, One Republic, and Alesso, to name just a few. One thing general admission fans will be thrilled to learn is that there are a whole lot more stands like this, where you can actually get a raised view of the action on track, but without having to spend a fortune on a grandstand ticket. What's selling well?
Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are pretty much selling pretty good. It's a big competition right now.
This is the Monday before the weekend's racing, and this is the main catch fence. The track's on that side over there. But as you can see here, this fence here separates the public from what we call the moat. We're allowed to photograph in here. And this black mesh, that will actually be rolled down come race weekend so that the people outside can't get a glimpse of the track. Now that's not unusual, that happens everywhere in Formula One. No point charging people to watch the race if people can come and watch it for nothing. I'm standing here on East Flamingo, and this is a temporary bridge that you can see behind me. Last year it was 4 lanes, this year it is just 2. And while both lanes at the moment are going one direction, come race weekend, they'll have a lane of traffic going each way. Now, the general admission zones here at this track are split into various areas. So if you get, say, entry into the South Covell area, you can't go into the East Harmon area. But good news, if you're a ticket holder in this area, there's actually a new stand for you to stand in. Last year, these were corporate suites. And the lights that are used on the circuit, these lights here, are $1,650 each. So just those 3,500 lights turns out at $5.775 million. Now, those of you wondering where the podium will be this year, exactly the same as last year, in that the drivers will arrive back into pit lane, they'll get out of their cars, they'll take a buggy or a vehicle across to the Bellagio, they'll do their interviews there, they'll drive back, and then one of those temporary big stages will be wheeled out and they'll be presented on top of that for the podium. What's new in the paddock, I hear you cry? Well, it's pretty much the same as last year, except there is a media tent at the far end, which is unlikely to impact you. But for us, it's a place to have a bite to eat and a drink without having to go all the way back to the media centre, which is at the Tuscany Suites. With regards to this new ice rink, all part of a promotion with the NHL Golden Knights ice hockey team, it is actually on top of the roof, underneath the big F1 sign. Measures about 31 metres long, what's that, about 100 feet, and 4 metres wide. And I can confirm the Apex crew will be filming on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Well, Thursday morning and Friday morning very early. In fact, Friday I think is from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. You might remember that last year I photographed some people in the car park here at the carriage house sitting on the back of their vehicles and getting this bird's eye view of the action with, I gather, having to pay nothing at all. Now this year they've got some of this black mesh here ready to pull down, but certainly if you've got your vehicle backed up here, you would be able to see over the top of that. Although I do see at the moment some cones and some tape indicating that no one can park there. Will that be there on race day? If you're in Vegas this week, you'll probably notice that a lot of these barriers are just stacked up here like this. Come Wednesday 3 p.m, the roads will start to be closed off completely, and by 5 p.m, they will be shut. And that'll happen for 4 days in a row. Oh, there's been a crash here already on Las Vegas Boulevard. This is on the non-racing side of the track. There's no doubt a lot of people are very angry that they've gone and put up this heavy-duty barrier here across the walkway. This one is the one at the end of the Las Vegas Strip, and this will be the place, if you could stand to watch, because this is where most of the overtaking takes place below me. Just walking along the strip, you do see quite a few ads for Formula One, including on the big screens. There's no doubt that the organisers will have learnt a lot from last year, and I'd expect it to go much smoother. I think the fans will be happier this year. Hopefully you'll be happier watching it on television. And yes, I understand some people are upset here, but hopefully that number continues to diminish each and every year. And before I go, please hit the like button and subscribe. And for a whole lot of extra content, check this out. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
Certainly I think the organisers will be a lot more knowledgeable. Off.